Hey gang, I was recently interviewed by my buddy Michael Lamothe for a new section on his site that he's working on called Traders Mind Chat. Many of you guys may know Michael from his Chart Your Trades Day. Well, recently he started something brand new called Mara Wealth, M-A-R-A Wealth.com. And well, I was honored to be the first guest on this segment of his. If you guys get a chance, make sure you follow him over on Instagram. That's at Michael G. Lamothe. That's Lamothe. He's a great follow, very motivational, very inspirational, high energy, just the type of person you want to receive those little golden nuggets of inspiration and knowledge each and every day. So check out the interview. I think it went very, very well. We talk about a handful of different topics, a little bit about my story, a little bit about my previous struggles, a little bit about my current struggles, and of course, all of the knowledge bombs you can handle about how to become and maintain consistent profitability as a trader.
If you want to be successful at trading, it takes 100% effort, 100% focus. As long as you can participate, you can make profit. Your lifestyle changes affect your trading affects your lifestyle. It's all just one.
My very first guest on what is going to be known as Traders Mind Chat is with Akil Stokes, who just entered the chat room. Welcome, Akil.
So the thing that I haven't told anybody else yet is that this poor guy, was in the hospital, a minute ago, runs back just to get this done. He's no, I've got to talk to Mike. We have to make this happen. It's so super important for the world to get these knowledge bombs, man. So thank you for joining us here, man. It's great. It's beautiful.
No problem, man. Great to be here. Glad I was able to get out in time. I was freaking out. I was talking to my traders this morning. There's one thing I hate. I hate being late to stuff. It's like the old athlete in me is your coach says if you're not 15 minutes early or late. So I'm freaking out. I don't want to be late. I got to text him. I got to tell him. And I'm just glad you're understanding and we can get this thing going. That's good.
I was telling people a little bit about we've known each other for a while, or followed each other on Twitter for years. I think. It's been a real long time, and so I wanted to try to start with where you're at now, and then go back to kind of how you started. So right now. You are the co-founder of Tier 1 Trading. Can you tell us a little bit about that and what you're doing and how you're helping people?
Sure. I am in the trading education business. I am a trading coach. I am a trader, but to answer your question, where I'm at now is I'm slowly accepting the fact that my focus and really my passion is more with helping others become consistently profitable traders. So following the path that I did, than actually trading myself. And my trading mentor, Jason Stapleton, always told me that if you want to be successful at trading, it takes 100% effort, 100% focus, all in that same direction. And what I've found is, when I first got into education, I wasn't fully in. I was doing it. It was a way to create some supplemental income. We know that trading can be up and down. I was mainly a swing trader, so I'd have very profitable months, and then there'd be dry stretches. And, that can be, when it's time to pay the bills, it's kind of right? So through the years, just with the entrepreneur mindset, always growing your business, always having diversification. And one of the reasons I got into trading education was because of that. It provided a safety net, it provided an extra flow of income, and I got to do something that I love, which is really just give back. And I never really wanted to be a coach. I never thought that I'd love coaching so much. And over the years, just as we've been able to grow the company bigger and bigger and bigger and working with more and more traders out there, I'm a lot more invested in the traders that we've worked with, which really takes some of the focus off of my personal trading. So I always tell people this: I've become a worse trader. I'm still a good trader, don't get me wrong. Not spectacular, but I'm good. But I'm not as good as I could be, meaning I don't have a lot of time to work on myself and as far as personal development, personal and professional development, I should say, simply because that time is now allocated to helping others. And I'd take that trade-off any day of the week. Again, that's me and you're kind of the same. Our passion is, yes, you want to be successful. Yes, you want to make money, but our passion beneath everything else is to have a long-lasting impact. And we know that if we can do that, we're going to sleep happy at night.
Yeah, 100%, man. And there's like so many like gold nuggets in what you said already. Like the first thing that kind of like jumped out of the water is like kind of like almost surprising was that like you didn't want to be a coach. Like, well, how did you, like, when did that switch? Because I see that you're like coaching like track and field like all the time. Has that been something that you've been doing for a long time too?
Well, it is, yeah. And here's the funny thing, because that my passion is coaching. I just never thought of coaching traders. And this goes back to, I started as a really bad trader. I was so bad for so long that for a long time, I'm like, why should I be the one teaching others? I'm just trying to get good myself. Mm-hmm. And like many other traders, my goal, and this is just pure honesty, my goal when I first got into the financial markets was, this is going to be easy. This is the way for me to make a quick buck, make as much money as possible, and buy everything I want in the world. And
I'm sure that you're alone in feeling like that.
Oh yeah, I've got to be the only one. And what people don't understand about coaching is, yes, you can make a good living off of coaching, but it's nothing compared to the other side, to managing money, to starting a prop firm, running a hedge fund, something like that. So when I first started off, after I became consistently profitable, my first goal was to manage money, because that's where the money was at. And what I discovered was I just hated it. It took the love out of trading, right? Although I started trading because, again, I wanted to make a lot of money. I think that's a big driver for a lot of us. But as I got more and more into the markets, as I went through kind of the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows, the learning curve, I discovered that I really loved it. I was passionate about it. Trading was like, what is it? You ever hear like, or see the cartoon where there's like that carrot that's in front of the horse, and the horse keeps kind of going to try and get the carrot and never quite get there.
Right.
That's how trading is for me. I look at trading as a puzzle. It is a game. It's a sport. It's something that I come in each and every day, and I'm like, I'm going to conquer you. I'm going to win. I'm going to beat you. I'm going to solve this puzzle. And in the back of my mind, like the carrot, you can never completely solve the markets. It's impossible. Right? The markets the markets represent us, right, as humans and all the participants. And as human beings, we're just not predictable. We're predictable to an extent, but we're not fully predictable 100% of the time. So there's always going to be some sporadic move where everything lines up and you're like, sell, sell, sell. It's like, whoop, buy. You're like, what the heck? So I know I'm never going to be perfect in the market, but I'm dumb enough to try and chase that dream. I'm dumb enough to try to keep chasing that carrot, even though it's never quite in reach. And I'm passionate about that. I love the game. I love chasing it. I love trying to get a little bit better each and every day. And even though I know I'll never perfect it, I'm going to try and get as close as I can. And I love what I do. I love coming in each and every day and doing that.
Loving what you do is so super important for everything, right? Like we're only here for such a short period of time. Like if we're not doing the thing that we love, like, well, what are we doing? Right?
Yeah. Wasting time. Like, that's the point of life, man. Enjoy it. Have an impact.
So you call the trading a game, right? And
yes.
All of the master market wizards and best traders that I've met have thought of it as a game. Has it always been a game for you, or like is that a switch that turned at one point or another?
I think it became a game when I fell in love with it. And it's funny, I had a program I went to over the summer for track and field for coaching. It was called 3D coaching, and it talked about just not coaching the athlete, but coaching like the mind and the soul and the relationship and stuff like that. And they made a very good point. they say that they talked about how, and I had this experience in college. I played college football, and all of the fun was sucked out of football. And it was no
what position
longer
did
a
you play?
game. Wide receiver. Still got 2 records left, I think, in the state of Pennsylvania. One was broken. Got to find that guy.
What records? I've got to ask, man.
They were, which one was broken? It was receiving touchdowns in a season. It was yards per touchdown average. And one was, what was the last one? It was, I think, touchdown to catch ratio. It was weird. It was like 2 out of every 3 catches was a touchdown. I feel like they made it up to make me happy, but I'll take it.
That's it. Incredible.
So I love football. I love sports. One of the reasons my knee dislocated, because I got years of grind on me. But when I went to college, it was no longer fun. It was a job. It was, you wake up 5 o'clock, film study. You go to this, you go to class, go to this, go to study hall. And it was just the seriousness in which they took it just sucked the fun out of it. And the summer when we had that meeting, the guy wanted to remind you, he said, you ever watch a kid go out and play? He said, why do kids go out and play football? Why do kids go out and play baseball? Why do kids jump over stuff? Because it's play. Play, it's game. In the game, we're passionate about the game. It's fun, right? You want to do something you love. And when I first started trading, when I got into money management, it took all the fun out of trading. There was so much pressure, right? I'm trading $250,000 plus, more money than I've ever seen in my life, right? Mm-hmm. And we know the pressure that comes with every trade, right? You traders watching this, whenever we're clicking the buy or sell button, we're like, boom, right? Imagine that times whatever, but it's not your money. It's okay to lose our own money, right? We're okay with that. Losing someone else's money, right? It's okay to drive and crash your own car. You're driving someone else's car. It's an added pressure. And that pressure took all of the fun out of trading. I was no longer enjoying what I did. I kind of felt like there were just all eyes on me. I had to perform. If I didn't do it, I was going to get a phone call or an email or something. He's going to take the money away. And I realized that that's not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to go down that path. And when I got into teaching, it brought the fun back, right? The pressure was off. And now there's still pressure in trading, obviously, but the pressure was off from, managing $250,000. And it was more fun. I got to just come in and enjoy the markets again. I got to come in and do analysis and make predictions and execute and watch some of them be good, watch some of them be bad, and learn. And I was a kid at play again. I would enter the market. The market was my playground. I would come in and I would just have fun and do what I love. And that's when I started realizing, like, man, like I really love this. I really love. It's not about the money. Money's great as an outcome for it. But it's not about the money. And I thought back to my earlier years of trading, because people always ask you, they say, well, how did you know that you just weren't trading for the money? And I say, well, because I was trading for a long time, losing money consistently, and I was still trading. So it had to be more than the money, because I was a loser for a very long time, yet I would wake up each and every day and come back into the markets. And if you're not passionate about what you're doing, why else would you consistently lose money and keep coming back? And that's when it kind of hit me like, man, I really love this trading, not just the result that trading brings.
Interesting. So going back to like the earlier stages of your journey, like, well, what were some of those hurdles? Like what, like every trader I feel goes through this, like we're experiencing losses, and then like we start to win, and like then there's a period where we like kind of hit a wall, and like the equity curve starts going like this, and there's like a frustration point where a lot of people like kind of throw in the towel at that point, and like like part of what we're doing here too is trying to help people over that wall, right? So like how did what are some of the walls that you hit along the way, or like that you noticed? And then like how did you get over those?
Well, hit a lot of walls. Like I said, the very bad for a long time. I can't put any more emphasis on that. And I say that for a reason. I say that because many of you guys listening, you're in that same position right now where you've been struggling, and you feel like giving up. And hopefully seeing someone that has been successful, who struggled for years, yet was persistent with it, can kind of give you a little bit of confidence to say, hey, there's hope. I can still get better. I would say that the biggest wall in my trading came from, it was after managing money. I hit, this is one of my best stories. I hate telling it because it's super embarrassing, but I hit a point when I was managing money and I lost a lot of money in about a month. Most of it was within a week. And I lost about 30,000 in a month. Most of it was within a week. And I had a psychological meltdown. You can imagine losing that much money, and especially when you're managing money for someone else. And I stopped trading. I turned the computer off. I always say if I had a window high enough, I probably would have jumped out of it. I know we shouldn't joke about stuff like that, but it was that was the feeling. It was a dark, deep pressure just on my shoulders. And it was like, that was the closest I ever came to quitting. And I took about a week off and thinking that after a week I calmed down, I'd be better. And when I loaded up my charts again after the week was over, what I discovered was that if I would have just kept trading the same exact way, taking the signals that I was supposed to take, not only would I have made that $30,000 back, I would have made another $30,000 on top of it. And that was kind of like the lowest point in my trading career. It was a lesson that, not only did you lose a lot of money because of poor money management, but then because of trading psychology, you lost the chance to make that back. And at the same time, my mentor always told me, stick to the plan, stick to the plan, stick to the plan. I don't know if you can see my shirt here, right? Plan your trade, trade your plan, right? And I didn't. And I paid for it. And I'm like, man, if I just would have done what I was taught, what I'm supposed to do, I would have been successful. And it was at that point in my career where I really had to contemplate. I wanted to get out of the money management right then and there. But the problem was like, how am I going to make, and I had a good size account by then, but it's like, how am I going to make a living without, collecting commissions and whatnot? And it took me probably about a month, and I kind of restarted my trading, and I went over things, I reviewed everything, and I noticed that most of my trading errors from the past, even going back before that time, were all from mental mistakes. It wasn't necessarily bad execution as far as like a trading plan goes, but mental mistakes. So, revenge trading, entering too soon, entering too late, skipping trades, moving stops, right? All the stuff that we all do. And I started tracking how many mistakes I was making and like average, like a stat sheet, right? I started going, okay, I'm making 20 mistakes a month. And I have always, one of the first trading, I remember my first trading DVD set, right? I don't remember anything from that DVD set except for something called the Kaizen philosophy. And the Kaizen philosophy is a Japanese philosophy that means continuous improvement. And it's something that I've adapted to my trading and my life as well. And what that means is that you're not going to go from here to all the way up there in one day. But if you can continue to make small little gains, continuous improvement each and every day, eventually you'll be up there. So I started tracking my mistakes. I said, I'm making 20 mistakes a month, right? Let's say I made 20 mistakes in the month of January. My only goal in February was to make one less. So if I made 19 mistakes in February, that was a win. And I started doing this month after month after month. And what I slowly started doing is I slowly started shifting the thought process, right? The thought process was always about making money, making money, making money. Now the thought process was about the process over outcome. What's more important to me is doing things the right way, not the result. And what's funny is after a while, and I didn't think I was going to make it at trading. I thought like, hey, I'm just slowly bleeding money again after the psychological breakdown. I'm done. As I slowly started focusing on the process more than the outcome, as I slowly started eliminating those mistakes, I started becoming profitable. And it was weird because I remember getting broker statements and I'm like, I'm used to them being in the negative. Because when I hit that dark space, it was bad. I remember getting broker statements and being in negative, and I stopped checking them. And then one day, I got an email. I'm like, oh, let me check it. And I'm looking at the statement. It was positive at the bottom. And I remember I'm like, these guys sent me the wrong statement. I swear, I'm like, there's no parentheses, there's no negative sign. So I emailed my broker. I'm like, hey, I think you guys sent me the wrong statement because, I'm a loser. Like, making money. What are you talking about? And they responded back, like, no, that's yours. And I'm like, what? And that's when it kind of clicked. I'm like, man, when I don't focus on the money, when I just focus on doing things the right way, you're going to get the result that you desire. And that was the biggest game changer for me. That's what brought me out of, from being a successful trader to really slumping for a while to finding success once again.
Oh, man, that's beautiful. I love it. I love it. Like, and so many people go through like a similar journey of their own, like through that, and that's why like conversations like this I feel are so important for people to hear, right? Like, how often do people feel as though they're alone in doing this? Like, we're sitting in our rooms or whatever, like trying to do this. Like you
All
mentioned
the
that you
time.
had, so like you had mentors early on too.
Yes.
So like your first experience with the market, you had mentors.
Yeah, I started off before Forex market. I started off in the stock market, and I had a mentor for that. Brilliant mind. He was a friend of my wife's family. He was kind of like a grandfather figure to her, and it started off because he was just trying to vet me. He's like, I'd been dating my wife at the time for a while, and he's like, let me meet this guy, make sure he's okay. This guy, what I found out later, was like this multimillionaire. Crazy story. He passed a few years ago. I wish he would have written a book on his story, because he was over in the war. He was paralyzed. He came back from being paralyzed, became an awesome investor with real estate and stocks, and he's got all these crazy stories. When that movie Dunkirk came out, I think a year or so, 2 years ago, he was telling me, he's like, yeah, I was there. I'm like, what? I'm like, what? You were there? Like, tell me more. And it's just crazy. But he started to vet me just to make sure I was worthy of dating and potentially marrying his granddaughter. And when we started talking, he realized that I had a mind for business. I had a mind for investing. I didn't know much about investing, but I knew that was kind of the next step, just based on kind of, my dad brought me up where it's like savings account, certificate of deposit, money management account, and then after college, it was like, what's next? He's like, okay, we'll just, invest in some stocks. And I'm like, okay. And so he kind of taught me the ropes. I was a fly on his wall. I would literally go into his office all day. I had nothing better to do and just sit. I sit in the corner, watch his meetings, watch his conversations, watch what he read, watch what he listened to. I just watched and watched and watched, and then started getting my feet wet myself. So he was my first mentor. He had a different style of investing, but I think I carried that. I don't have a mathematical economic background or anything like that, but I carried that kind of common sense investing mentality, and that really worked good for me. Common sense, man. You don't need to read through all the numbers all the time. Do stuff and just use your brain, use common sense.
Yeah, like there's so many things like that. I keep on like coming back to this concept of like everything is everything, and like if like taking that and applying it to the market, like the things that we are kind of know and are intuitive, like we could take and apply certain things to the market and end up being successful in our own way. Right?
No
Like
doubt.
figuring out the way that works for us, and it definitely sounds like that's the path that you followed. And I actually remember hearing part of the story. So like for everybody that's watching either here or on the recording later on, Akil also has a killer podcast on iTunes. That's where I listen to it. Well, where is it? Anywhere else? Is it on Spotify?
It's everywhere. Everywhere you can find it. iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, SoundCloud, podcast, any place that has a podcast, you can find it there. It's on my YouTube channel as well, so it's everywhere. Listen to it.
And say the name of it. We'll like post it right here somewhere on the video.
The Trading Coach Podcast, the most clever name ever invented.
I love it. Cheers, man.
The Trading Coach Podcast, my creativity shown to the world.
And so I do want to ask one additional question because we just like kind of like flew by like this half an hour, and I want to be respectful of your time too.
I'm on one leg. I got nothing better to do today. So
Nice.
As long as my phone battery doesn't burn out, that's the only thing.
We'll have to send you a charger.
There you go. The little things.
But I am curious too. Like, so do you still experience, or like, what kind of hurdles do you experience presently? Like we never get to the carrot, right? We just kind of find like new things that are kind of like leading away. So, like, well, what are the things now? Like, as somebody that's been doing this for years, as a pro, like, well, what are some of the challenges?
Well, the challenge is, I'll give two challenges, one from different perspectives. As an educator, my challenge is the pressure of trading each and every day, basically in a glass house. I mean, I run a live room. People see everything I do. There are typically two instances where it's tough, right? It's great when you're winning. When you're on a winning streak and I'm making money, it's great. Everyone's happy. When you're losing, however, everybody sees that. Everybody sees you losing. We all know that losing streaks are tough on their own. Imagine a losing streak while everyone out there is watching you. It's just like, it's multiplied. Thankfully, I have a great group of traders that I work with. They understand the professionalism of this industry. They know that losing happens, but it's still kind of rough because you're supposed to be this expert trader, this mentor, yet they've just seen you take 5 losing trades in a row. It's like, I got to rebuild their confidence. So that's sometimes tough. And again, it helps a lot working with the right type of trader, not working with, there are some people on the internet that are just clowns. Let's be for real, and avoiding them is key. But I would say, now I forgot the other thing I was going to say. I would say settling. Settling is tough because we have to understand that the market is always changing. And I didn't used to believe this. I used to think, hey, one strategy is going to work forever. And the market is dynamic. Now that I've been trading for 9 years now. So I've noticed kind of different market conditions. We have a Trump era. We have a pre-Trump era. We had 2014, which was, I believe, the year of zero volatility in the market. We had the recession when I first got started in the recession, and you could just like the markets were so directional, you just press a single button and you'd make money easily. The market changes and your strategy has to change as well. And I think a big trap that traders fall into is they've done something that worked. Let's take a trend trading strategy, for example. They're trading this trend trading strategy through very directional markets. And directional markets, for you guys that may not know, are basically like trending markets that are just, they keep going up. Kind of like the stock market right now. You can just buy it and hold it and it'll go up, right, for the most part. And you have traders that have a strategy and it works good during those directional periods in the market. However, market conditions change, and if that trader were to settle, if they're just like, I don't need to work on myself, I don't need to get any better, I'm so good, I don't need to evaluate myself, I'm just going to do the same thing, it's going to work forever. When you settle, the market will catch you slipping. It will. And you can have a very good career, settle, you stop working on improving yourself, and you'll find that the market's going to take your money from you. And I remember speaking to a trader once who was, I forgot how much she made, but she had a very successful trading career. I think she took an account from like 10,000, like 50,000, something like that. My numbers are probably a little bit off, but it was a massive gain in her account. And basically she blew it all in a few years. And I remember talking to her and she was just trapped. She couldn't understand. She was consistently losing money. Her system wasn't working the same way. And then when her system wasn't working the same way, mentally, right, those psychological errors started coming in. It was just a snowball. So you can never settle. Always evaluate yourself, always check on yourself, always try to improve, always pay attention to what the market's doing, how you can get better, always tweak and whatnot your system, and that's how you got to stay on top of it. It's hard work to become successful. It's even harder to remain successful. That's what I've noticed.
So much wisdom there, man. I'm just like letting a lot of that sink in. Yeah, man, like that's like juicy food for thought. I'm going to go back and rewatch some of this and see too, and I encourage everybody else to as well.
Hey, Bob Trump.
Oh,
one of my buddies just joined. Bob Trump. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, welcome. This
a local guy. He takes pictures at a lot of our high school track meets and whatnot. Hey, Bob.
Awesome. Welcome, Bob. Thanks for joining us.
That's awesome.
A lot of great people in here. Like I'm seeing comments from my boy Jay Rise. There's Rolf from Trade Society. Trader Health 101.
That's great. That's another great person, man.
Yeah, like
that's
so many.
And here's the thing, right? So you would think, right, because they do trading, they do education as well, and it's funny because a lot of people think like everyone's in competition. Oh, tier one trading versus trade society versus this versus that. And the truth is that, there's so much junk out there on the internet that all of us have really flocked together. All of us with the same mindset. And it's funny because we've recently talked to people like Adam Grimes and Mike Bellafiore and Brett Steenberg, some of these legends in the trading industry. And they're the same way. They follow people like us online, and they're saying, we love you guys because you're preaching the message that we know is real, that everyone else on the internet isn't. So it's always cool to have this, and you're included in that as well, but this little tight-knit circle, Austin Silver's another one like that, where it's like we're just all trying to preach the same message, and there's no inner hatred, there's no inner battle. We're not trying to scam each other and take customers from each other. Overall, right, we just want to change what the mindset of trading is. We want to help people help themselves, and that's what's so powerful about what we're doing. I guarantee you watch 10 years from now, right? 10 years from now, we're going to completely shift the mindset of what trading is. And there's a lot of people like that. A lot, especially my business partner and good friend Jason Greystone and Wells, another one. We're gonna change it. I guarantee.
Yeah, I agree with everything that you said. I just think that it's going to be a much quicker time frame. I think that what we think we can do in 10 years, we could do in 5. Well, why not do it it's like for me personally, like I've done more in the past 3 months than I have in like the past 5 years. So yeah,
I like that. Let's do it. Let's do it quicker. I like that. I like that.
Me too. So
I'm pumped up now, man.
Hell yeah, man! Like, feel on fire. Like I wanna. Let's take some questions from the audience. Like that's one of like the super powerful things that Instagram allows. That's one of my favorite features here. So I'm just gonna scroll through, see if there's any questions. If you guys that are here now, if you have other questions, like come on, like yeah, like it's easier to see a recent question than it is to like scroll back a half an hour and see like what was there. So let's see.
How often do you increase your default entry position? So I'm assuming he's talking about position size. We actually have a money management spreadsheet that I use that tells you when to increase and decrease your position size. So it's based on account balances, and there's really what you do is you put your back testing data in there. Back testing is your historical results, and you can kind of see what it would look like if you're very aggressive versus very conservative. But I would say this to kind of be more specific. I do everything quarterly, and I wouldn't increase the position size more than monthly. So even if I hit a level in my money management spreadsheet, say I guess it's late, say it was mid-September, and I hit a level in my money management spreadsheet that says, hey, Akil, you've done so good that you can trade more. Awesome, right? I would still wait until October, because something I've learned in the past is this. In the past, and I don't know if it was coincidence or whatnot, it could be because I was a very streaky trader back then, but typically you're going to increase your position size off of after a big win streak, right? Would you guys agree? Right? You have a lot of winners in a row, maybe a big winner, right? That's going to bring you to, that's going to up your account size, which is going to put you to the level where you can increase your position size. Now, let me ask you guys this. What happens after a big winning streak? Can anyone guess?
Yeah, typically
some losses.
Yep.
And if you're handling your trading the right way, your wins are going to outweigh your losses. So you have a big winning streak, you take some losses, right? But it doesn't really affect you all too much. But because I was increasing my position size directly after my big winning streak, essentially what I was doing is this. I was getting all of those wins at position size A, right? I was increasing my position size, let's say going from a 1 lot to a 2 lot, just to make the math simple. And then I would increase my position size from a 1 lot to a 2 lot just as the losing streak came, and my losers would make up for or would take away all my wins. So I'd have a few months of good trading, and then I'd have a few weeks of bad trading, for example, and everything would be gone. So being very conservative in my position sizing, my money management is something that I learned the hard way. So it takes a lot, and I'm very conservative in my approach. I can be more aggressive. I would make a lot more money if I were aggressive, but my number one rule is don't go broke. So I'd rather keep my drawdowns, the amount of money I lose, I'd rather keep that small, even if it means kind of not sabotaging, but even if it means taking away from my return on investment annually.
Hmm. So I have a couple of questions from that. So a question is, like you're looking at it monthly, so I'm curious, like what time frame you're trading, are you more of like short term, intermediate term, long term, like, well, and how do you define that? And is the number of trades, like what's making it be like a month over month, or is it like if you were a more shorter term trader, like would it be quicker than month over month, or if you were longer term, like would it be like every quarter or every 6 months? Like how does that factor in?
I start off as a swing trader, so mostly like a 4-hour time frame, hourly time frame. So not a lot of trades at all. I would say in a month's amount of time, maybe 10 trades a month just by swing trading, if that. So not a lot of trades at all. And the trades you're taking, you're in them for a few days to a few weeks. Now, once I got into education, I started day trading more, which is more active, where I'm actively trading the markets, 3 hours a day, 4 days a week. So if I were strictly day trading, and I never just day traded on my own, but if I was strictly day trading, it would be more of a week-to-week thing. Now, again, my money management is it's so conservative that I wouldn't, like every week, I wouldn't be upping or reducing position size, but I would feel comfortable after a week's worth of time to up a position size. And that's just because there's more trades in that duration, where swing trading, if I'm doing it per week, that might be 1 or 2 trades. That's just not a big enough sample size. Day trading, it might be more 5 to 10 trades. So you have a much bigger chance of kind of riding both sides of the wave. But I still think, I still think it would be monthly for me. I like seeing the big picture. I do my review and everything else quarterly. So whenever I review my trading and see how I am, I do it quarterly. I try not to think as much about the small picture as the big picture, just because I know personally in my trading there are ebbs and flows. You have hot streaks, you have cold streaks, you have streaks where you're going sideways, and I kind of want to get a full picture before making any important decisions about my money.
Mm. Another thing that I wanted to ask you too, you said that like your rule is to not go broke. That's interesting, and it varies from person to person, like what that level is that you're willing to risk. Like how did you arrive at that for yourself? Like what was the decision-making process or like the thought process behind that?
Well, it was something that my trading mentor taught me, Jason Stapleton. And he always said, rule number 1 of trading, don't go broke. Rule number 2 of trading, don't go broke. And he compared it to a poker table, right? Mm-hmm. If you're playing poker, there's 2 things you need, right? You need a chip and a chair. That means you need money to participate. And if you have money to participate, you get a chair at the table. Now, as long as you can participate, you can make profit. If you cannot participate, you don't have a chance. You're done. You're kicked off the table. You can't play the game. So if we're looking at trading as a game again, right, we always want to be able to participate. So as long as I can participate, I have the skill that I can produce income for myself, right? Even if it's coming off a losing streak, even if I do something dumb and blow a lot of money, as long as I have an account and money in my account, I can kind of restart and rebuild that capital. However, if I go broke, I'm done. I can't play. And for someone who is a full-time trader, right? This is my income, is from trading, right? It means so much more, right? Right now I've got a family. Just had my second son, turned a month 2 days ago. I've got 2 kids. I've got a wife. Thank you. I've got a mortgage. I've got a car note, thanks to some idiot that crashed into my pregnant wife over the summer. Anyway, right? There's a lot of things that I need to provide for, just like any other job. However, unlike a typical 9 to 5, we don't have that safety. I don't have the safety of, hey, I know I'm going to get this salary. I know I'm going to get this paycheck every 2 weeks, right? I eat what I kill, essentially, right? And that is the market. So I need to perform in the markets. And sometimes my performance is great. Sometimes my performance is subpar. But as long as I have money in the market, I can produce income for my family. If I were to ever go broke, how else am I going to provide? What else can I do? I don't have another skill. I don't have another job to get a salary from. So, the goal has always been safety first, right? And as I've gotten older, the concept has kind of changed from make as much money as possible to protect as much money as possible. It's very similar to, for you guys out there to have like retirement accounts, right? IRAs and 401ks, right? When you're young, you get your first job, you sign your first contract, they take you to HR, and you're like, ooh, retirement stuff, this is going to be awesome, right? What do they typically advise you to do? They say be aggressive, right? You're young, you're 20 years old, you can afford to have an aggressive portfolio because if it goes bad, you'll make it back. Now, you're okay with that because if your portfolio tanks, maybe you're 25, you still got 25, 35, 45, 55, you got 50 years to make it back. Now, you take the same person who's 55 years old, who's about to retire in 10 years, do they want to be as aggressive with their money, or are they more kind of, I would rather protect the money I've already made? You see where I'm getting at, guys? Right? So the more responsibility I have and the older I get, the more it becomes less about making as much as I can to protecting what I've already made. Very long answer for that.
Yeah, it's important for whether you are trading full time, like you are, and also for people that are trading part time. Like I am, like making the leap pretty soon. But no matter what stage we're at, money management is important, and that letting that account, like making sure that you still have a chip and a chair is critical. Otherwise, you're out of the game, and it takes time to get back into the game.
Is that a Rolex? Nope.
Oh man, that's like a
Flex watch, man. You guys can see the puzzle pieces. Love Flex watches, sold on a great show called The Profit. If you guys are entrepreneurs, you need to make sure you watch Marcus Lamothe and The Profit. But every time they make watches with different designs that are good for different causes. This one is autism awareness. So when you purchase this watch, I think 10% of the proceeds go to autism awareness. And I used to, before I was trading, I worked with kids that had mental and behavioral health issues, and one of them a lot of them had autism. So it's a very special place in my heart. So I try to flex on them as much as I can.
Very nice.
Helped me massively as a trader too, working with autistic kids or children with autism. Massively. The amount of patience directly relates to the markets. Directly.
Interesting. Goes back to everything is everything.
It's funny. It really is life. Trading, like your lifestyle changes affect your trading affects your lifestyle. You're 100% correct. It's all just one. Everything, I mean, it's all just one. It's amazing. Especially when you look back and you see kind of things you've learned or people you've connected with that kind of impact your life. It's amazing.
I love it. Man, is there anything else, like any words before we finally let you go? Anything, any parting wisdom, anything that you'd like to promote, direct people towards? Lay it on us, man.
I would say this goes hand in hand. One of the traders that we've worked with just shot me a message, said, what are your future plans? And it's to take the trading education business to the next level. So I think we're doing an awesome job with our trading education business. We're doing something. We're teaching trading. We're handling traders. Let's put it that way, because the concepts are the same. There's no real new concepts out there in trading. Just classic setups. You do them the right way. But we're educating people in a different way, and it's based off of the power of community. It's not necessarily just, hey, teaching you how to trade, go out and do it. We're practicing the community aspect of, hey, we're teaching you how to trade, but then we're surrounding you with a support group of newer and experienced traders, so you always have kind of that positive influence, that support on a daily basis. And you guys know how it is. If you ever done a group project, there's positive pressure, right? You see someone else doing something, you're like, man, I gotta do something too. You have someone that's been there before you. You can bounce ideas off of them, and that's been great. We've been so scared to do that over the years because typically, like, trading forums and whatnot always come out toxic. But I think by setting ourselves up with delivering the right message, we really filter the type of traders that work with us. And a lot of people hate us, but we work with the right type of trader, and our community is very strong. And the next goal, without going into a lot of details, is being able to work on more of the business aspect. It's one thing to teach traders, right? I think we're very, very good at that. But a lot of traders are coming from positions like me where, and you don't have a lot of money, right? I always say this: if you want to trade full-time, just off your trading, you probably need about a $200,000 account. If you're doing nothing else, meaning no money management, no signal service, right? Because realistically, you don't make the 100% returns a month like all that crap you see on the internet. That's not realistic. If you can make 30, 40% a month, you're on fire. You add a little money management to that, maybe it's 60%, you're doing amazing, but it's not 100% a month. You're not making thousands of percents a year. So the amount that you need to live off of your trading is a lot more than what people think. And we recognize that. Traders are hungry. Traders want to turn this into a career. Traders want to have a skill that they can teach their kids and their grandkids. And the next step is to be able to take those traders and put them in a position where they can directly put that skill to use. So the ideal way would be doing something like a prop firm, opening up a prop firm where we can take traders, kind of the best of the crop that come through our educational service, put them on a trading floor, give them house money and say, hey, you're trading our money now, you get your commission, and treat it like a prop firm. Either that or directly send them to a place that is in need. And we've recently spoken to a few very successful traders, a few very successful prop firms out there that are interested in that. They're saying, hey, you guys do a good job of trading or teaching traders. I wish we were doing as good of a job with the traders that we teach. And maybe there's a future business relationship in there where we can take our traders and directly put them in a place where they can start a career using this skill and allow them to kind of get out of whatever job they want to get out of now.
It's amazing, man. You're doing such great work. Such great work.
Thank you.
Everything that you plan on doing, everything that you're doing now, even like your feed and your podcast and your YouTube channel, like just so much value, man.
Thank you. I'm following you. Just flood the world with positivity. You flood it with positivity, right?
I do my best, man. I appreciate it. Thank you too.
Yeah, no problem, man.
Well, where can people find you? What are some of the specifics?
You can find me all over the interwebs. I'm here on Instagram at Akil Stokes RTM. I'm on the Twitter, same sign, at Akil Stokes RTM. I'm on Facebook. If you're going to follow me on Facebook, please follow the trading page. It's called, just enter Akil Stokes Trader, not my personal one. I've got all these random friends that are like, it's weird. So do the trading page. LinkedIn, just basically anywhere social media, YouTube, you can find this handsome face there.
Awesome, man. Well,
and feel free to reach out. If you guys know one thing about me, I do respond. A little bit slacking on Instagram, but I do respond to every type of message and comment that I get. I try my best. So I'm very approachable. Very approachable.
Yeah, and I can testify to that too. Akil and I have known each other for years. We've tweeted at each other, like DM'd, all that kind of stuff. A couple of collabed on a few blog posts back in the days of Charter Trade before that business was sold, and I moved on to building Mara Wealth. And yeah, what you see is what you get. Just a beautiful man, bearing his soul and doing his best to teach and bring value to everybody. So connect with him. Again, Akil, thank you so much for the time, man. Truly appreciate
problem.
it.
No problem. Appreciate you having me on. Appreciate all the support and all the kind words that the viewers have typed in. It really does mean a lot. Those words do help. They keep us motivated, which is good.
100%, man. Thank you all so much. Truly honored, truly blessed. Man, what a great life.
Yep. Make a difference. Live your passion, man. That's all you can do. All you can do. Good. It's a good way to start the morning. Nice.
All right, man. I'll see you all later. Like, make sure to follow. And yeah, like both of us too. Ask Akil questions. Like, I'm completely available. Shoot DMs wherever. And yeah, let's keep going. Like, this is a race where it's a journey, and we're in it together. We don't need to be doing this stuff alone. So, all right, brother. Peace out.
All right, take care.